What's up, you beautiful souls? I hope you guys are having a blessed and awesome day. I'm Fred Martinez, and you're listening to What the Fred podcast, where we talk about focus, resilience, energetic, and driven. The 4 traits to become unstoppable. Today is a pivotal point in my life. 5 weeks ago to the day, I ended up tearing my calf muscle, and I had a grade 2 tear, which means that if it would have been a grade 3, I would have had to have surgery. And let me tell you what I had to endure in order for me to be where I am today, right now, and talk about that appreciation too. Okay, so after I tore it, the thing is that you do the price. You protect, you do your resting, you do your elevation, you do your compression, you do ice. So I was on the couch, I was doing everything that I possibly can, connections with my physical therapists. I ended up getting physical therapy right away, did the dry needling, did some scraping, did some laser, did PEMF, did electrical stimulation, did the cold plunge and the hot tub going back and forth. Did laser on there too. I have my own red light panel, so I was doing that also. Started doing some peptides. Whatever I possibly can in order to help myself recover. The biggest thing is that, you're on crutches, you're by yourself, you had to rely on other people, and as well as being able to adapt. And that's the whole thing about life. You have to adapt to the situation that you're in. And whatever God throws at you, you got to adapt. You got to hit that change up whenever it's thrown at you. Be able to adapt, be able to overcome. And I can tell you this much, that I have an appreciation every step that I take. So on Sunday, I decided to get rid of the crutches. It looked bad. It kind of looked like I was like just hobbling. And then now what ends up happening is, as the more I start doing these calf raises, the more I start doing more of the physical therapy and the walking, I start building that confidence within myself. So now I'm doing 10 toes on the ground. And this is sometimes we take for granted, and we don't realize what we're doing unconsciously, that when you're going for a walk. I'm going to say, try this experiment. Try feeling the toes press against the ground on each step that you take. And you can definitely feel things differently, because that's what I'm consciously doing right now, making sure that I'm hitting all the toes and then pushing off, because then I can go ahead and work on my gait of how I'm walking, because you could see like I have this like slight little hip movement, and just because of my mind has to be reconditioned to it's okay. Because when I was going through this ordeal, I was hobbling on the crutches, just crutching around, and then I was jumping around with just one leg, getting in and out of the shower, just putting all the pressure on one leg. Then what ended up happening is on Thursday of last week, I ended up aggravating the lower hamstring of my leg, and it was very difficult. So I was on a Friday night, I was crutching, and it looked like I had 2 broken legs because I didn't want to bend them. I didn't want to put pressure on that. And so I decided just to plop myself on the couch and just do rest. And I know that in life, we need to do that. We need to be able to have rest, because for myself, it was very hard for me to have that rest, because I'm always going, because I'm always in motion, because that's where I get my energy comes from, is me being in motion. After I eat, I go for a walk. In the evening, I go for a walk. In the morning, I go for a walk. I'm constantly always being in motion, because it helps me think, it helps me blow off steam, helps me with anxiety, helps me with everything you can imagine, and it gives me that time alone with myself. It gives me a time to appreciate the things that are given to me, and I'm having that conversation with God, thanking Him for all the blessings, and opportunities, obstacles, whatever they are, taking all of that in. And so right now, as we speak, I am getting better with my gait, and every step that I do, I'm gonna get better and better and better. The thing is that I look now that these things that happen in my life, they're there for a reason. Anytime that you're going through things, you might say, shit, why am I going through this crap again? And the one thing that I kind of looked at it as, for me, is being able to know that I have a story to tell, that I can overcome things, that I can go ahead and tell people that, yeah, you have resilience in you. It's built in you already. It's already programmed. What happens is that we forget about the programming that we've had because we use the external programming that we're not good enough, or we need this or we need that in order to be happy or in order to be successful. You're already successful. You're already happy. You don't need the external things. You don't need another program. You don't need another book. You don't need another course. You already have what you need right now. Now the thing is like, I'm not totally against like taking a course. What's that doing is that just refining what you already have in your life. That's a big difference between trying to get something in order to feel complete. You're going out to go do something or gain this knowledge is to refine what you already have. That's the big difference that I'm looking at in life right now. So if you're dealing with something difficult, just imagine where you would be and in a year from now, a month from now, a week from now. You're not going to be in the same situation that you're in right now. You're going through this moment right now is to make you stronger, and it's to make you appreciate what you have. Because I can definitely tell you, I appreciate everything that's given to me. Every time I wake up and I'm like, thank God for this bed. Thank God for the roof over my head. Thank God for the ceiling fan. Thank God for the air conditioning. Thank God for my house. Thank God for the food. Thank God for the heart that's beating in my chest. Thank God for this air that I'm breathing. Thank God what I'm seeing outside in this world, what I'm hearing, what I'm feeling, what I'm tasting. Thanking God for all these things that have gone on through my life, because I kind of felt like this right here is another opening in my life. It's something that I had to go through in order to have this totally different experience, because I was just going through the motions, trying to fill in that void in my life to get something in order to be something, whereas you don't need to do any of that. And I started realizing that more and more. It's about releasing what has been blocking me. And I say this because of when you deal with the blockage. I found out that there's some kind of an issue that I have with one of my the arteries, and I'm looking at myself like, I live a healthy lifestyle, doing all these different things, but I kind of look at it as that has opened up many different things because of looking at it as blockages. What are the blockages in your life that you're going through that's preventing you from getting what you truly want, need, and desire? And that's the thing I kind of, for myself, I started realizing, for me, being vulnerable, is that after my divorce, I started thinking like I needed the car, I needed the house, I needed the job, I needed the clothes, I needed all these different things to be a person who I'm already am. I don't need any of these things in order to make me happy, in order to make me successful. And you have to go through these things and realize that eventually you'll find your purpose, you'll find your passion. There's countless many times when I hear coaches that are out there saying, you need to find your passion, you need to find your purpose. Well, you know what? I look at it as you got to live life in order to find what exactly you want in your life. You had to go through the trials and tribulations saying, hey, I don't like that. I don't want to do that again. Or be like, hey, that was fun. That was exciting. I'm going to try it again. And then that's what ends up happening, is that when you like something, you're going to do it over and over again. Also, too, when you do something, sometimes you're going through that because it's going to make you stronger. You'd be like, wow, I hated that, but I went through it. And that was one thing that I had learned from my parents, is that whenever I joined a sport or did an activity, I had to go all the way through. I couldn't just quit mid-season, or I didn't like it, or whatever it was. It was like, no, I made a commitment. I made a commitment to the team, made a commitment to the coach, and I made a commitment to myself. And that's the whole thing, is not letting yourself down, is because you have to take ownership of who you are, because it replicates in everything else that you do in life. It's about taking your own personal ownership. And that's when I look at some of these professional athletes. Constantly I'm hearing all these people bashing on the Phoenix Suns because they got swept. You know, I live here in Phoenix, you know, I'm a Phoenix Suns fan, and they get swept, and you're thinking, wow, you know, the coach needs to be fired. You're putting the blame on somebody else, whereas the accountability goes back to the players, because they're not taking personal accountability, not playing, knowing that they're going to be eliminated. And they think they might have another day, you know, another game. And that's one thing I like about March Madness, is because there is no other game. If you're on, you're on. If you're off, you need to kick it into another gear, because you're going to be eliminated. And that's the thing I wish that they would do with professional sports. Forget about these games. Just have everybody invited on the whole thing on the playoffs, and single game elimination. We'll see who's going to really show up and who's going to really play or not. That's where I kind of feel like, and then you look at college. College is a different story right now. You get the NIL, you know, and that's changed the dynamic of sports. I know this is going off in a different tangent, but the point is, it's about taking personal accountability, appreciate what you have, eliminate those blockages that are preventing you from having what you want. Those blockages could be the self-doubt. It could be the little voice in your head saying that you're not good enough. In reality, the thing is like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you know, a century. No one's gonna know who the hell you are, man. Just go ahead and do it. Who cares what other people think? Just do it. Because I remember when I first did my first Olympic weightlifting meet, God, it was terrible or whatever. Then I look at it as how I view things differently, because I have an appreciation. I can no longer do the Olympic lifting. I wish I can go back and take that mindset and have that appreciation through the whole journey. But the thing is, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for everything I have gone through in my life. And that's where I want to bestow onto you. It's about appreciation in that journey. It's about everything you do has a purpose, has a reason. It's refining you. It's making you who you are and what you're becoming. Think about that, my friends. I'm going to leave you with that, and be about it instead of talking about it, and namaste.